Hey guys, it's me, Lil Ninja, back in the video, and today we're doing What If Naruto and Sasuke Fused Part 1. Hope you like this video, and it didn't really take me that long, I think. Well, actually no, it really did took me that long, but I think I might be able to start making these videos weekly, because I forgot to do it last week, and I mainly just be working on it this week. So I might be able to start doing 1 hour videos, 3 1-hour videos each week, so that way you guys have something to watch from me, and so that way I will be fulfilling my promise not to be going offline for so long. And thank you for clicking on this video, and if you're new, please try out some of my other videos. This will be another remake of What If Naruto and Sasuke Fused, mainly because I haven't done one of these in a while. Also, I've never finished one of these also, and another 1 hour video. Anyway, let's get to the shoutouts. You guys thought I was gonna say the video, but anyway, let's get to the shoutouts. Unfortunately, this is my only shoutout for the week, but I really want more people to comment so that I can shout out more people. And if you didn't know before, you get a shout out for commenting on one of my past videos. As long as it's one of my videos from the past week, I will give you a shout out on the first video of the next week. So make sure to comment on these videos if you really like them, and make sure to like, and you don't really need to subscribe, but hey, if you want to watch more videos like these, hey, you might as well. Without further ado, let's get into this amazingly crafted What If.
This shit high, boy.
Shawty catch a vibe, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought a two-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stun. Oh, living lively. Everybody tryna ride my wave, they can ride me. Pull up in a foreign to the curb looking icy. I ain't never stressed about a fit, I'm a hype it.
Act 1. The rivals collide. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura and Kakashi would be doing D-rank missions throughout the village. Or as Naruto calls them, chores. Naruto, after setting a box down, would glare at Kakashi. Come on sensei, there are better things to do than this. Believe it. Kakashi would smile at his students, each one being so different and none of them really get along. It reminds him of his old team. Well, Naruto, you, Sasuke and Sakura are new shinobi. We aren't going to get higher level missions in a while. Naruto would grunt after putting away the last box. Well, I still say this is a waste of time. The old lady that employed the new Janine team would suddenly come out the back of the store. Oh, thank you. You shinobi always help me. Unknown to Sasuke and Sakura, Naruto would be ignored by the lady with the seemingly nice lady, always giving slight glares when she thinks Kakashi isn't looking. Well, that's what the mission is for. The old lady would pull out some earrings. The earrings would be in a ball shape, half yellow and white. The two earrings would be connected to a small chain, with the chain ending at a magnetic pin. Here. The lady would give Sakura the earrings. I have no use for these anymore. And I don't have a daughter to pass them down to. So for such a good job, please take these. Sakura would smile at the old lady. Thank you, I will cherish them. Inner Sakura would be sad that she couldn't just throw the ugly piece of jewelry. Kakashi would look up from his book at his team of genin. Okay team, let's go. Wait, what about the reward? Says right here that the reward was the earrings. Naruto would sweat drop with Kakashi taking his team back to their training area. Naruto would walk over to Sakura. Sakura-chan, go out with me. No, Naruto. Naruto would be punched into a tree by Sakura, with Sakura trying to ask Sasuke out, with Sasuke trying to ignore her. Unknown to Sakura, she would drop the earrings. Naruto would look at the two earrings and would have picked them up. Man, Sakura was right, these things look ugly. Naruto would look to Sasuke, who would be being annoyed by Sakura. If I put this on Sasuke, wonder how he would react. Maybe I will actually get a word out of him besides the usual HM. Believe it. Naruto would sneak up to his teammates with beat her of them noticing anything until Naruto had put the earring on Sasuke. Naruto would start laughing. Man, that earring really works for you, Sasuke. Sasuke would glare at Naruto. You idiot. Sakura would try and not to gush at how cute she thought Sasuke looked, either the earring. Naruto would start mocking the old lady. I have no use for these and no daughter, yo, give them to. More like she just wanted them gone. Naruto would mockingly put the earring on his ear, causing the two earrings on the two rivals to glow. What's going on? You idiot, what did you do? The two shinobi would float as they would be carried by an unknown force into each other. A flash of light would cover the training area, blinding Sakura and Kakashi, who would have by now looked away from his book. The light would begin to dim. This would show a new figure standing in Training Ground 7. Kakashi would be the one to walk to this new figure, not being able to see his face as it was covered by his wild black and bright yellow hair. Taking in the new figure's looks, it seems to be a combination of Naruto's and Sasuke's cloths. Black mesh shirt with an open black, orange and purple jacket with a half Uzumaki and half Uchiha symbol on its back. Think Naruto Shippuden jacket with darker orange on one side and purple on the other. Black ninja pants with black ninja sandals. Now being able to see this new guy's face as he would stare, he looked similar to Naruto and Sasuke. The new figure's eyes would be blue with an outer ring of black. 3 whisker marks would accent each of his cheeks, the look being topped off by the leaf headband that he wore. Kakashi, finally getting out of his awe, would speak to this new person. Who are you? Where is Naruto and Sasuke? The new figure would look at Kakashi like HEW was being stupid. I'm. This new guy would blink. What was that? I'm right here. That doesn't feel right. The new guy would look at himself. Kakashi would look at him. You're not making any sense, kid. Looking back to Kakashi, the guy would say something that would surprise Kakashi. I'm Naruto. I'm Sasuke. With the two names coming out at the same time with a mix of Naruto and Sasuke's voice, Kakashi would raise his eyebrow. It sounded like you said you were Naruto and Sasuke. The new guy's eyes would widen, realizing what he said. I think I'm both. Looking at his hands, he would question who he is. But at the same time, I'm neither. The new guy would go to the earrings on his ears, touching one, trying to take it off but not being able to. Sakura would still be staring in awe at this new person who looks very similar to Sasuke, ignoring the fact he also looks like Naruto. Wait, you're Naruto and Sasuke-kun? I think it was the earrings. Kala's High would be in thought and look back to who is now known as Asum and Naruto. It's the only explanation we have. I will inform the Hokage. You figure out if anything changed when you combined. Like chakra control chakra pools. Hearing this, the fusion would realize what Kakashi was hinting to and would nod. Also come up with a name for yourself. Can't keep calling you that guy. Kakashi would disappear, leaving the fusion and Kanuchi alone. So what now? I've decided on my name. Samato Uzumaki Uchiha. Sakura would smile. Well, Samato. Kakashi-sensei did say we should see what you can do. Samato would be hit by a wave of Naruto's and Sasuke's memories. Memories from when both were first born to when they fused. Itachi. Mom. Dad. This would confuse the fusion, as he had seen Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Which were his other parents. At the same time, he would have seen Mikoto and Fugaku Uchiha. Which were also his parents. Lastly, he would remember his big brother Itachi, being able to see that memory again. He would be able to see Itachi's eyes. Those eyes weren't ones of hate, of malice. But of pain and sorrow. Sumatra's eyes would go red with two tomo in each eye, alarming Sakura. "You okay, Samato?" Reaching closer, Samato would startle the pink-haired girl, moving in an instant when she got too close. "I'm fine, Sakura." Samato would get up and filter through his past memories and would deactivate the famous Dojutsu Sharingan. "You don't look fine. If you need to talk about it, you can always tell me." Samato would smile at Sakura, giving her reassurance that he was fine. Time skip. Samato and Sakura had taken the time they had to train and figure out what Samato can do, as well as helping Sakura realize that she needs to train as well as stay off her diet. The nail in the coffin being that ninja will work off any excess calories when training or when on mission. In this, Samato helped her to get some of her skills down, although it wasn't a big leap in training. Samato would also realize he is able to do everything Naruto and Sasuke could do. Not only that, he had much more chakra than the both of them, but as a result of their fusion, the tailed beast within him had much more bloodlust as well as a power boost as well. Surprisingly, the tailed beast gained the most out of this, as part of the seal had been absorbed into him. This in turn giving the massive fox much more chakra than he had when he was whole, as well as making the seal much weaker. Samato knew he would have to get a new seal or have someone make one. But with him not knowing anyone who could make a seal, the task fell upon him. But since one of his fathers were a seal master, he believed he could definitely surpass him. The next day, Samato found out his team was taking a break as the fusion of Naruto and Sasuke caused some complications for the team. Samato had about a week to train himself to get control of his new power, as well as train Sakura. He decided that he needed to go to the one place that Naruto would never go: the library. Thinking to his 3 clans as well as the Uchiha library he could use. But the Uchiha were never known for seals, so it would be best to go to the Shinobi library. Going to the library with his new ID that he got from Hokage Gigi, he would pick out many books on seals. He would also find training methods for himself. Most of the training was based on chakra control, which Samato really needed, as while his control did go up, it was countered by the fact he had a lot more chakra. Samato would keep heading through the library, finding some jutsu scrolls. He would take C-rank jutsu from each element besides fire, which the Uchiha already had. After finding everything he needs, Samato would send 3 clones in different directions. One to go to the shinobi shops for basic sealing weights and resident seals as well as some sort of weapon. Another to buy some new food, as both Naruto and Sasuke's fridges weren't going to help him become stronger. And the final to figure out which house he would be staying in, as he didn't need to. Samato would then make his way to training ground 7. "Man, I really got to remember to carry money on me." Samato would blink, realizing he just got a shadow clone's memory. "Wait, that wasn't me. Does that mean?" Samato would make another clone, then he would give the clone his wallet. Go buy the items the other clone couldn't. The clone would nod and would quickly leave. After a few minutes of training, Samato would get back the memories of the new clone. "Okay, so I do get back the memories. But why didn't Naruto notice this?" Samato would grin. "I won't think on it that much, I could definitely use it for training. But it looks like I only get things retaining to memory and no physical training. But I still get the fatigue. And there is probably some memory backlash that I got to worry about." Samato would make 100 clones while holding the jutsu scrolls and books that he picked up. Thinking for a little bit, Samato would finally figure out what he will do with the clones. "U20 go and use the Tajusta Kata book to figure out our best fighting style, as Naruto's and Sasuke's doesn't fit us. U10 start reading and testing with this Sealing Justice for Beginners book. U50 start working on the jutsu scrolls that we got. U20 start working on these chakra control training books and try out the different training styles." All the clones would move into their groups, allowing Samato to put sealing weights and resistance seals on himself. This intense starter training would go on the whole day, with this helping Samato to see exactly where he stands and how to become stronger. This would give him a training schedule which he would stick to the whole week. After the final day of training, Samuto got ready for his team to come back together. Moving through the village with speed, he sensed someone following him. Suddenly stopping, he would look behind himself, noting everything around him. The wind moving through his hair. The large tree he was standing on. The villagers below him. And finally, the chakra signature that was closely watching him. His eyes would glow with his Sharingan. "I can see you. Who are you?" Samuto would keep staring until he would hear a rustle from the bushes. A kid with a blank mask would come out, returning Samuto's glare. "Who are you?" The masked shinobi wouldn't answer. Silence from the two ninja would fill the area. This would infuriate Samuto even more, causing him to jump at the unknown shinobi using his new fighting style, which he dubbed the Blue Phoenix style. With a barrage of punches and kicks being blocked by both fighters, eventually they would stop. The masked shinobi would be the one to attack after this short break, sending a furious punch into Samuto's gut, then kicking him away with an attack to his jaw. Samuto would fly down into his team's training ground, landing on his feet. Eyes still ablaze with the Sharingan, Samuto would look for his attacker. "Who the hell are you? And why are you here?" Samuto's eyes would travel to behind himself, allowing him to catch a punch that was aimed for his temple. This would allow him to counter-attack, crouching his body lower than the masked shinobi. Then sending a jab into his chest, sending him near a clone. The clone would kick him aside into another clone, allowing that clone to strike him in his back. Samuto would grin at this, remembering the style that took him so long to make. Flashback. Samuto would be sitting around with clones, looking at the book of fighting styles that he had got. But none of these styles really fit him, meaning that the only thing he could do was make his own. This would be a problem, as Naruto was primarily a brawler and Sasuke used his speed and agility to use the Uchiha fighting style or the Interceptor Fist. Both styles of fighting wouldn't fit Samuto, as both were only one aspect of himself. But maybe he could use multiple styles and combine them effectively, making his own style. But looking to the custom weapon he had made, he would probably need another style for that as well. Maybe he could make one style and branch it to fit his needs. Samuto would dispel his clones, gaining the different fighting styles that each clone had studied. Most were mainly focused on speed, as all ninja should be, but that wouldn't be good enough for him. This would lead to him finding a style called the Tiger style. The style consisted of strong strikes as well as speed to dodge other attacks. This is what his base fighting style was going to be, but he still needed to change it up a bit. Samuto would make the fighting style suit him more by adding Naruto's ferocity along with Sasuke's agileness, making the fighting style effectively a mix of all three, as well as the nature of the style allowing him to adapt to any attacks without the Sharingan and make other attacks his own with it. The base style being named Blue Phoenix. Next was to evolve this style in 3 different ways. First way could be to overwhelm his opponent with clones like what Naruto did with Mizuki and Kakashi, but in a more controlled way and more refined, as to not destroy all the clones when they mistakenly attack each other. Making sure the clones would fight in tandem with each other, making it so they could overwhelm their opponents without dispelling. This would be named King Phoenix style. Next would be to adapt a weapon into his style, which would be hard but would give him more reach as well as more attacking power. The weapon he had gotten from the weapon shop was a mix of almost every weapon known to man. It was so complicated that no one bought the thing because it would be so unpractical to use. Problem being that if you wanted to use the other aspects of the weapon, you would have to change it, which was a pain to do at all. But Samuto didn't see it that way. The weapon in its base state was a short dagger with a machete look to it. It had the ability to come apart into 3 other short daggers. Each one could also extend into spears as well, scythes and bow staff. Not just that, the 2 shorter blades could also mimic themselves into katanas, and the 2 katanas all 3 weapons could also come back together to be a crossbow. This in the long run was super impractical and very hard to use. First you would have to master changing it into all its different forms, which also takes a long time to do. Then you would have to master each style of weapon to even think about using it in a fight. And the way that Samuto wanted to use the weapons were practically impossible. But then Samuto began to think about the seals that he had been studying for the week. One of them being a reverse seal. This seal was a basic time seal that most people knew how to use, as it was a way to save time on replacing kuni. It allowed them to reverse time to a point where the item was in its basic state, making weapons practically brand new. Unfortunately, this couldn't be used on people for some reason, and the seal was made such a long time ago no one thought to change the seal up a little bit. Samuto, using the little knowledge he had in seals, would allow him to change the seals to a point allowing the reverse seal to become more. This seal would also heal the item on the spot, but was also connected to another seal on Samuto's hand. The seal was changed to a point where Samuto could change this unpractical weapon in less than a second, effectively making it much better. Next was to implant it into his fighting style. This would allow him another branch of the Blue Phoenix fighting style. The branch allowed him to attack with his weapon, which was always changing, confusing the opponent enough to make them make mistakes, leaving them open to many attacks, as well as the basics of the Blue Phoenix. This fighting style would be named the Changing Phoenix. Lastly was to combine the two branches, which for Samuto was very hard but doable. This combination of the two branches was meant to overwhelm, confuse and mentally break the opponent with attacks from clones with the same weapon as Samuto. This last branch was named the Crimson Phoenix. Flashback end. Samuto would be using his base style of Blue Phoenix, using the masked shinobi's attacks against him, eventually wearing him out. You still haven't said a thing this whole fight. So who are you? Samuto's red eyes would fade, still allowing him to glare at his downed opponent. But in a split second the masked shinobi would disappear. I got to tell GG about that. Act 2. Clashing Waves. Samuto would be sitting in front of his sensei along with Sakura, who had changed her look to that of a true kunoichi. Sakura would be wearing a short dark crimson shirt along with a black jacket to go with its shinobi shorts, along with black shinobi sandals, with her hair being cut and the tips being dyed black. Like the new look Sakura. Sakura would smile, thanks Samuto-kun. The two ninja would look to their teacher and team leader, expecting him to say something sooner or later. Looking up from his book, Lakashur would finally acknowledge the two. So the Hokage has decided to let us stay a team, since technically we still have all three of us. And I actually got him to give us a C rank. Wait, really? Samuto would grin. This is gonna be great, finally something that isn't some stupid chore. Kakashi would I smile. Calm down, it's not that big of a leap in missions, but we have to get ready for it. We basically have some bridge builder to protect and take to his village while he works on his bridge. Kakashi would look back to his book. This mission will probably take 2 weeks to a month, so I would pack for a long trip. Time skip. Kakashi, Samuto and Sakura would meet their client at the village gates. When getting close, Samuto could smell the booze on his breath. Seriously, out of all people, this is the guy we got to take. Be quiet, brat, they say the ones who bark the loudest are the weakest. Samuto would smirk and cross his arms. I was just stating a fact. Pretty sure no yelling came from me, old man. The old man's would adjust his hat and would glare at Samuto. Kakashi, remembering this is the two young ninjas' first time meeting the client, would put his book away. Sorry, Tazuna. These are my students, Sakura, young and smart kunoichi of Konoha. And Samuto, split personalities shinobi. 1 minute he is pissing you off, the next he is totally serious. I'll believe it when I see it. We should get going. Tazuna would begin to walk out of the village, getting the three shinobi to follow him, with Kakashi eventually walking in front of Tazuna, with Samuto and Sakura walking beside him. Samuto would begin to speed up a little, getting himself next to Kakashi. So you noticed how tense he is. Kakashi's one showing eye would look down at Samuto, and eventually Kakashi would nod to the fusion. Yes, I have noticed. I've also noticed that he seems to be hiding something. Yeah, but what is the question? The two ninja looked to their client and would question what exactly he had been hiding. After a while of walking, the four would have passed a puddle which had confused the three ninja who had readied themselves, with Kakashi putting himself behind Tazuna. A few more steps away from the puddle and two figures would jump out of it and would run at Kakashi. A chain that would be connected to two gauntlets which were on each figure would wrap around Kakashi. The two figures would be able to be seen after standing still now could been seen as unknown ninja. The two ninja would pull on their chains, causing the chains to rip Kakashi apart, getting a grin and shout from both. 1 down, 3 to go. Sakura would be ready to lunge at the two shinobi until Samuto had stopped her. You. Samuto's eyes would glow red with a fox-like slit. His whisker marks became more defined as well as a deep crimson chakra began to erupt from the young shinobi. Flashback. Samuto would be training non-stop, not having any breaks until Kakashi had shown up. You know, you should really take a break. Samuto would look up at Kakashi. Well, I should, but I can't. I got to work harder than everyone. I have practically no control over my chakra. Kakashi would put away the book he had out and would walk to Samuto, putting a hand on his back. Come on, I'll treat you to lunch. Samuto would grin, two things he had taken from Naruto being his appetite and love for ramen. Sensei and student would go to the Ichiraku ramen shops and would talk about missions that Sasuke and Naruto did. Slurping up a noodle, Samuto would then laugh at something Kakashi said but would stop and begin to cry. I realized I practically took your students away from you. Kakashi would look to Samuto. I'm not them, I don't have their dreams, their hopes. I mean, the closest thing I have with Naruto is his love of fucking ramen. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't have a purpose. I don't have a dream. Having enough. Kakashi would stop the fusion. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't a mistake either. You are here and that's all that matters. Don't throw away what the two rivals have you. Kakashi would I smile. Plus you always have your team. Me and Sakura. We can help you figure out your dream. Samuto would smile and wipe his tears. Flashback end. Crimson chakra would still be filling the area, its suffocating power extending to the assailants. You killed my brother. Samuto would rush at the two, ending it faster than it started, with two jabs sending the two towards clones who would pin their hands with a kuni to a tree. The clones would pop as the crimson chakra climbed up the two shinobi. The chakra would seep into them, burning 10 from the inside and knocking them out. Kakashi would suddenly appear and would console his surrogate little brother. It's fine, Samuto, I'm right here. Samuto would look up at his big brother and would wipe his tears. I thought. I know. I'm sorry. No, it's fine, I can't act like it won't happen to others that I will lead. But I'm gonna make sure it doesn't. Samuto would grin at his sensei/brother. I will protect my precious people. Kakashi would smile, then get serious and would look at Tazuna. Those ninja weren't after us. Tazuna would begin to sweat. What do you mean? Kakashi would close his one showing eye in thought. You see, those ninja, while it could be possible that they were only going for me and decided to go after the rest of you, it's a far chance from that happening, especially if they decided to try and finish you off quick without toying you like most ninja would. And when they first got out of that puddle, I noticed that they were looking past me. Kakashi would open his eye and would stare at Tazuna. Right at you. Tazuna would begin to crack under the pressure of three ninja, with Samuto and Sakura joining in with their glares. Fine, I lied. This isn't a C rank mission, at the very least it should be a high B. There is a man named Gato coming after my life because I'm building the bridge. He wants full control over water country, and me building a bridge to circulate more income will ruin that. Kakashi would look at Tazuna with pity but would still keep his stare on him. But why not just by the B rank or even a rank mission? Unless, like you said, Gato. Samuto would look up and remember where he heard that name before. Gato. You mean like shipping magnate Gato? The guy that the Hidden Leaf couldn't find because he kept changing his name. The guy that has done this same damn thing 3 other times. Tazuna would look at the young shinobi. You know Gato. Yeah, I know Gato. Samuto would shrug and look at Kakashi. Can you please allow us to continue this mission? Me and Sakura are totally ready, and plus we have you. Kakashi would look at his 2 genin and would sigh. You're lucky, Tazuna, we get to keep doing this mission. Any other team we would go back instantly. Kakashi would begin to walk again, getting the others to follow. As time went by, it began to get dark as they grew closer to Wave Country. Trying to stop the annoying silence, Sakura would decide to ask Tazuna some questions. So Wave Country doesn't have its own ninja village? Tazuna would shake his head. Wow. Maybe the Hidden Leaf could set up a deal to help out after this mission. Tazuna would look at the Pinky Tea. Could you really do that? No, not me. Tazuna would sweat drop at this. Then who? Sakura would look up at the bridge builder. Obviously it's Samuto, he is very close to the 3rd Hokage. They're practically grandson and grandfather. Sakura would laugh a little, seeing Samuto's eyebrow twitch. Could he really convince the Hokage? Sakura would nod. Tazuna would turn to Samuto. No. Tazuna would deadpan. I didn't even ask yet. What do you mean no? I mean no. I'm not just gonna use Grandpa GG to do whatever I want. With how bad Gato treated the past countries he leached off of, it would take a lot of the Leaf Village's funds to even think about saving one of the run-down villages. Seeing that Tazuna was going to argue, Samuto would put his hands up and close his eyes. That's not to say I won't help, I'm just not using GG. With how much money Gato has gained over the years, that is bound to restore all the countries he has done this to. So that's what we will use to get you guys up and running. Tazuna would think. Actually, that a very good idea. Yeah. Kakashi's and Samuto's eyes would widen as the 2 high-level shinobi would get everyone to the deck. Get down. Suddenly a giant sword would come out of nowhere as Samuto would frown. That's... Flashback. Samuto had just started putting the seals on his weapon at Higarashi's weapon shop. He would get interrupted by a familiar face. Hey Ten. Samuto would continue to put seals in his weapon as Ten watched him. You know, there are 7 other swords that could rival yours. Samuto would look at Ten and smirk. Always ready to talk about weapons, I see. Ten would giggle. I mean, weapons are my specialty. Anyway, the 7 swords are from the Hidden Mist. I only really know that much about 1 sword and 1 swordsman. Zabuza Momochi, the current holder of the Executioner's Blade or the Kubikurabocho. Zabuza is known to be a missing ninja and kills anyone to get in his way. I always wanted one of the 7 swords, but this would be the one I wanted the most. Samuto would look at Ten then to the picture of the giant blade. Well, I'll get it for you. What? Ten and Samuto would look at each other. I mean, what are friends for? Ten would smile. Idiot. Flashback end. Samuto would grin at the figure that was standing on the blade. Zabuza. Zabuza would look down at the shinobi. Wow, am I that great that even a fresh genin knows me? Nah, it's just you have something that I want. Kakashi would step in front of Samuto. You two protect the client, he's mine. Kakashi would lift his headband, showing the hidden Sharingan that he had in his left eye. Sakura would take a gauntlet out of her bag and would put the gauntlet on, readying herself to fight. Samuto would take out his blade. Zabuza would laugh. The great copy ninja Kakashi already has his Sharingan out. While I'm honored, it shows how confident you are. And his 2 brats think they are ninja. This is one priceless show. Kakashi would glare at this new opponent and would ready himself for an attack as mist would roll through the battlefield. Suddenly Samuto, Sakura and Tazuna were blinded as they could hear sounds of battle in the distance. Sakura would hear footsteps coming towards her as she anticipated where her attacker was. She would lunge out, putting a fist through what seemed like Zabuza. This Zabuza would turn into water and explode. Seeing this, Samuto would ready himself as well, turning his blade into a crossbow and activating his Sharingan, allowing him to see through the mist and shoot multiple water clones, while Sakura used his physical strength to protect Tazuna. The two would easily dispatch any clones coming near them, as they would hear the shout of a jutsu. Water-style water jail jutsu. I don't remember the name of the jutsu. Sonic, this isn't it? Please don't be mad. With the shout of that jutsu, the mist would begin to fade as the two shinobi and client could see Kakashi inside of a ball of water. This ball of water was connected to Zabuza's hand as he stood on the water below him. I have your sensei, so this is over. Kakashi would ignore Zabuza. Run, you three, he can't go after you if he has me, just run. Shut up, Kakashi. Samuto would glare at Zabuza, surprising everyone. Those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. Kakashi would I smile. I'm sorry, I should have known you wouldn't have run. Just be careful. Samuto would look to Sakura. You think you can handle the water clones? Sakura would nod. Good. Samuto's red eyes would begin to spin as another tomo began to show in both eyes. Kakashi would be surprised as Samuto had already unlocked all 3 tomo in each eye. Crouching a little bit, Samuto would begin to focus, then would look straight at Zabuza. Changing Phoenix style. Samuto would rush at his enemy as Zabuza would make a water clone take Kakashi away. Zabuza would take out his sword and would clash with Samuto. You know, I thought you were just a young brat shinobi, but you know how to use a blade. Shut up and fight. Samuto would duck under a slice as his sword had changed into a scythe. He would use the scythe to block another slice, and the scythe would change into 3 blades, one being held by his teeth. Samuto would slash all 3 blades at Zabuza's blade, pushing it back, allowing him to get behind Zabuza. Samuto's 3 blades would turn into a staff as he would aim for Zabuza's head. This attack would get blocked by Zabuza's sword, marking Samuto respond by spinning his bow staff, then hitting the blade away. Zabuza would be surprised at the mistake he just did and would be quick to use the giant blade as a shield to block Samuto's arrow that just came at him. Unfortunately, the arrow was another distraction and Samuto was directly behind Zabuza, and Samuto would use this opening to plunge his sword through him. Zabuza would drop his blade and would limp and grin. The brat actually got me. A masked ninja would rush out of the trees raring to attack Samuto, only to get hit by Sakura and killed. Zabuza would sigh and spit out some blood that was in his throat. Hey kid, bury me next to him. Samuto would look at the man on his blade. He was like my son and we promised we would die together. Zabuza would smile as he took off his mask that was on his face. Samuto would give a sad smile. You know, we could have been friends. I heard what you plan to do with the money that you hid from missions. You're not a bad man, Zabuza. Zabuza would chuckle, allowing Samuto to lay the 2 missing ninja next to each other. After a while, the father and son would pass on, with Samuto burying them and sealing away Zabuza's sword and sheathing his own. The group would make their way through Wave, seeing many homeless kids as well as the poor economy that Gato had made for the small village, until they arrived at Tazuna's home. Tsunami. Inari. Grandpa's home. A woman with dark black hair would walk into the living room embracing Tazuna. You missed me that much? Tazuna would grin, with Tsunami looking at her father. I'm just glad you're safe. Tsunami would back up to say hi to the people that had protected her father. Hello, I'm Tsunami and that's Inari. Tsunami would point to a kid with a bucket hat who had a frown on his head. Kakashi would I smile. I'm Kakashi. These 2 here is Samuto and Sakura. Sakura would wave as Samuto would stare at the frowning boy. Thanks for letting us stay here for the time being, but I must discuss something with my students. Kakashi would take Sakura and Samuto outside. Okay, you 2, I know that you're thinking that we have the time to relax, but after killing Zabuza and that Max Shinobi, I think it would be time for us to get stronger. What do you mean? Sakura would ask, having put her gauntlet away. Well, Gato isn't the kind of man to just stop once one of his employees were killed. He will most likely hire other ninja depending on how far they are away. I suspect we will only have 3 days to prepare for the enemy. And there are tons of missing ninja out there. First things first, I'll be training you both in how to do 3 jutsu as well as honing your ninja skills. I'll mainly focus on Sakura since she still hasn't gotten her chakra capacity up by much, so she won't be able to do many jutsu like you can Samuto. That's fine by me. On the final day I will have you both reverse summon yourselves to get your own summoning contract. Don't you think that's a bit much, Kakashi-sensei? No, as you two have come a long way, your teamwork is perfect. And Sakura, you're not a fangirl like you were before. Sakura would blush and look away. It was time for a change, okay? Kakashi, would I smile? Samuto, summon 400 clones and work on your chakra control. Sakura, I want you to run up and down that tree 100 times. Both Samuto and Sakura would sweat drop as they got to doing what they were told. After a while of training, the 3 ninja came back to the small house to see what was for dinner. Time skip. It's been 2 days and Samuto and Sakura were beat. Tomorrow was the last day of training, and even then that would take the whole day most likely. The 3 shinobi sat down at the table ready to fill their stomachs with food. Inari would glare at the 3 and was clearly getting more furious each day. Samuto would have had enough of Inari glaring at him and his team and would finally speak out to him. What is the matter, kid? Inari would focus his glare onto Samuto. You all should stop trying, you can't beat Gato. What makes you say that Gato is just some short guy with a temper while we are ninja? Iaria glare would intensify. Stop butting in on our lives like you know our pain. Hell, give me 2 people that even suffered as much as anyone here. Samuto's smile would disappear. Shut up, you snot-nosed brat. Inari would be surprised at this, not expecting to be stopped. You said name 2 people that had it worse. Well, from what I can see, you still have your mom and your grandpa to take care of you. Kids out there don't even have that. But no, that would be too simple for you. You said name 2 people from my village that had it worse, right? Kakashi and Sakura would look down, remembering the 2 people Samuto was going to talk about. Sasuke Uchiha and Naruto Uzumaki. Are just 2. Sasuke had his own clan killed by his brother and was put in a genjutsu to see it over and over again. And he was only ever seen as an Uchiha, not Sasuke. Naruto, on the other hand, had it much worse. Hell, a lot of people had it worse in the Hidden Leaf. Naruto was ostracized for something he couldn't control. And even beaten by all the villagers. He had no one to turn to. Burnt, stabbed. Bones broken. And that's not even half of it. I could name even more people in the Hidden Leaf that had it bad, and people in this small town that have had it worse than you. But did they give up? No. Samuto would stand up and walk away until he would stop. But you're just a cry-baby. You don't want to fight back. Samuto would leave this being the last thing he said. Tsunami would look at Kakashi. Is what he said true? Kakashi would look up. And why did it sound like he was talking about himself when speaking about Sasuke and Naruto? Well, because technically he was. Sakura would look at Kakashi. They should know why Samuto spoke out like that, Sakura. Kakashi would look back to Tsunami. You've seen the earrings on him, right? Tsunami would nod. Those weren't normal earrings. They were how we lost Naruto and Sasuke and gained Samuto. This team used to be a 4-person team. Those earrings were ones we got from some old lady, never saw her again after we got them. Naruto had put the earring on Sasuke and himself. And suddenly, in a flash of light, they were gone and Samuto was there. I guess you could say he is a fusion of both, meaning he understands pain more than anyone. The worst part is that he blames himself for the fact that Naruto and Sasuke are gone. Tazuna would look at the door that Samuto walked out of, seeing him in a new light. Tsunami would look at Kakashi. Why would he blame himself? Because at one point he didn't understand who he was. The room would be left in silence with no one talking after eating dinner. The next day Samuto, Kakashi and Sakura would be out training as Kakashi had shown the hand signs to summon. And that's it, I'll see you both when you get back from the summoning world. Sakura would be the first to do the just disappearing in a puff of smoke. Samuto would be about to do the same until he would be stopped by Kakashi. Samuto would look up at Kakashi's concerned face. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine, just after last night I needed to cool off, you know. Kakashi would slowly nod and let go of Samuto's shoulder. We'll see you when you get back. And you can always talk to me about anything. Samuto would nod, doing the hand signs to reverse summon himself. In a puff of smoke, Kakashi was the only one left. Samuto would see a large area filled with forest and a cave. Samuto would hear soft steps coming from the cave. Eventually Samuto could see 4 foxes standing on all fours at the height of Kakashi with different colored coats that had kanji for fox on them as well as katanas on the backs of all of them. One of the foxes began to speak down to Samuto. Who are you? Where did you come from? Samuto would look up at the fox that spoke to him, not being intimidated by the glare the other foxes had gave him. I'm Samuto Uzumaki Uchiha. And I came from the hidden leaf. The first fox would begin to glare at him, Samuto returning the glare. Why are you here, human, and give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill you where you stand. Well, one, I'm here because I reverse summoned and came here. The other 3 foxes would look surprised. And second, I don't think you could kill me that easily. Samuto would harden his glare at the big fox. The foxes would turn to the cave. Follow us, kid. Samuto would be surprised as the foxes would begin to walk into the cave, causing him to run after them. In the cave, which surprisingly looked much bigger inside the out, were many different foxes. Samuto could see very small foxes that seemed to carry short blades as well as scrolls. Samuto could also see regular-sized foxes training in speed and stealth with gauntlet-like claws, while other of the same size were meditating and gathering sage chakra. He would be able to see other foxes like the 4 that were leading him with multiple swords and other weapons. Finally, Samuto would see giant foxes about the size of the Hokage Tower and taller. Samuto and 4 foxes would stop at a temple. This is where the king of the Fox clan will decide your fate. Samuto would look at the 4 foxes and would stare straight at the temple doors, walking in after a few seconds. The temple walls were filled with a language unknown to Samuto. Kid. Samuto would look around looking for the voice that had spoken to him. You're not gonna find me out there. Samuto would realize who was talking to him. And would scowl. So the fox finally decides to talk. Oh, shut up, you Uchiha brat. Samuto would be pulled into his mindscape. First thing he sees would be red fox eyes glaring at him. Samuto would return the glare, making a bright light shine on the red eyes. The light would reveal the visage of a massive fox that would still glare at Samuto. So what do you want? I want to make a truce. What? I want to say that you are getting much stronger than the brat Naruto would have become. Samuto would raise his eyebrows, still staring at the giant fox. What I'm saying is, Uchiha brat, is that acknowledge you as my partner, but... The fox would lay his head on his human-like paws. I won't kill you and we can work together. After I went mad because of the fusion, I was able to gain my sanity back, so I will help you. And this was reaffirmed when you summoned yourself into my domain. What do you mean? The huge fox would close his eyes. Well, I created this place after you humans saw me nothing as a monster. People began to kill foxes for sport, so I made a dimension to be a safe haven for other foxes, and I gave them some of my chakra. The foxes' tails would begin to sway. I also have to thank you for the 11 extra tails. Samuto would look at the 20 tails on the fox, realizing he was much more powerful than before. And for that I will tell you my name. Samuto would look to the fox. So the 9-tailed fox isn't your name. It's more of a title, if anything. My name is Kurama Kid. Anyway, this king of the foxes is probably the fox I puts 4 tails worth of chakra into, so be careful. Noted. Samuto would be sent out of his mindscape to keep walking through the temple. After a while of walking, Samuto would stop at a throne that would be occupied by a giant fox half the size of Kurama. You're the first human to be here ever. So tell me, why do you think you're not dead? Mainly because you want to see why I was able to reverse summon myself here. And you want to see if I'm different from other humans. Smart human. The fox would open his eyes and stand on its hind legs and would stare down at the fusion. I like you, kid. You're more confident than any human that has ever seen me before, back when we didn't have this safe haven. I would like for you to have a drink with me and the other foxes, where you will be shown to be our new summoner. We will help you in your battles. Our power is yours. Samuto would smile. Time skip. Samuto would be summoned back to Wave Country, appearing beside Sakura and in front of Kakashi, both of which were sitting. You guys waited for me. Kakashi and Sakura would smile. Yeah, why wouldn't we? Samuto would smile back with Kakashi standing up. So what summoning contract do you both have? Sakura would look to her sensei. My contract is with the bears. They have a special ability to gain power after a nap, and they are very good healers. Sakura would smile, and Kakashi and Sakura would look at Samuto. Samuto would grin. I have a contract with the Fox Clan. Sakura's and Kakashi's eyes would widen. There's a Fox Clan? Yeah, it's a long story though. Kakashi would clap his hands with a wry smile and would lead the two back to the house. Time skip. Samuto would wake up looking at the sun, seeing that it's very late. He would rush to get his clothes on and would run downstairs. Hey Tsunami, why didn't anyone wake me up? Tsunami would look to Samuto and would smile. Well, they wanted to give you some rest. They said you looked tired when you came back. Samuto would sigh until he would sense 2 unfamiliar chakra signature. Tsunami, Inari, stay away from the door. Samuto would open the door as he would see 2 samurai-like thugs staring down at him. Hey kid, you should step out the way. Step out the way, whatever for? Come on kid, just step out the way and you won't get hurt. Samuto grabbed both of the thugs' heads and throw both of them into trees, pinning them with kuni. Inari, protect your mother, will ya? Inari would nod to Samuto, with our favorite ninja disappearing. Currently Sakura and Kakashi are protecting Tazuna while being attacked by 3 new missing ninja. Shuriken, also known as Lady Blood. A great swordswoman. Jinso, a heavy hitter with chakra pool so big it was said to rival Kage. And their leader Kari. The second person to gain the title, Tailless Tailed Beast, mainly because she had the 0 tails sealed in her. Shuriken was attacking Sakura while Kakashi was having a hard time dealing with Jinso, using her gauntlet to protect her, and Tazuna Sakura would be holding her own. Kakashi was using his speed to dodge and counter-attack Jindo. The 2 battles would go on, causing roars of power go on through the bridge. Samuto would suddenly appear, stopping the fights and sending a fireball towards Kari. Kari would dodge the attack. The little brat thinks he can handle me. Samuto would land, ignoring the crazy lady. Guys, you should stop messing around. Sakura and Kakashi would laugh a little with the 3 enemies looking at them. What do you mean stop messing around? They are hard pressed to stop us. Samuto would laugh. No, they aren't. The only one strong enough to even step to Kakashi would be this girl here. Samuto would point at Kari. Then Samuto would activate his Sharingan, causing Sakura to pull out another gauntlet as well as make Kakashi show his Sharingan. Kakashi would rush towards Jinso using his eye prowess to speed blitz Jinso back. Kakashi would jump back and send a fire to Jinso, causing Jinso to do the same. The 2 jutsu would clash until Kakashi would appear behind Jinso and would stab him with a Chidori. Sakura would use have massive strength boost to create a earth wall which Shuriken would run into. Using that as a distraction, Sakura would land a dual fist attack on her, sending her into the railing on the bridge. Samuto would step to Kari. My team was weak, but you won't be able to defeat me that easily, boy. Samuto wouldn't speak and would just take out his blade. Samuto would rush at Kari using just his blade, nothing else. He wouldn't even resort to using his changing phoenix style. Using his blade to administer small cuts, annoying her to the point where she would make a mistake. Kari would lash out at Samuto using the Zero Tails infinite chakra to her advantage. Rage Claw Strike. Kari would form a chakra claw to finish her fight as she wanted. Unfortunately, Samuto had dodged her attack and didn't hesitate to cut her down. You know, infinity times 0 is still 0. Samuto would pull out his blade from Kari and would let her fall. After the battle was over, slow clapping could be heard in the distance. This would cause surprise from Sakura, Tazuna and Kakashi, but not Samuto. Samuto knew exactly who this was. The worst scum of the earth. Gato. Well, I didn't expect for some weak kid to beat that lady. Oh well, wasn't like I wasn't going to kill them in the first place. The little man would walk to the dead bodies and throw them off the bridge with glee. You disrespect your own team. Well, ninja can't be trusted. That's why I always stick to my thugs. Gato would look to Tazuna and Squad 7. Kill them. Samuto's eyes would glow with red slits, crimson chakra flowing out of him and covering him in it. The cloak of chakra would form into a fox-like visage with one tail. Then Samuto would drop to all fours, his whiskers more pronounced and a scowl and rage-filled glare on his face. The glare would freeze all the thugs, with Kakashi and Sakura looking at Samuto. Samuto, are you? It's still me, guys, I'm just very angry right now. And Sakura, I'll give you an explanation later after this. Sakura would slowly nod okay. Samuto would rush at the thugs, cleaving his makeshift claws through them in an instant. His chakra tail would be wiping around, taking as many thugs down as his hands were. Samuto would move like a fleeing flame through the thugs, only causing death and carnage for all of them until the only one left was Gato. With one lunge, Samuto would cleave Gato's head straight off with no chance for him to get out of it. Samuto, after standing for a bit, would turn normal and would look to his team as well as Tazuna with a smile. Act 3. Monsters. Samuto had just explained why Naruto and technically himself were hated for so long. He would explain to Sakura about his burden of being the Jinchuriki, or power of human sacrifice, to Sakura. And if you are wondering how he knows about Jinchuriki, Kurama told him. The team, after finding out the bridge, was named the Great Naruto and Sasuke Bridge. Requested by Samuto himself, as before they were going to name it the Great Samuto Bridge. Had left to make their way back to the Hidden Leaf, which only took them minutes to get to. After telling the third Hokage what happened, Sakura and Samuto made their way to Higirishi's weapon shop to give Ten her new sword, which got Samuto a kiss on the cheek and a jealous Sakura. The two would leave after this and would make their way through the village, ending with Samuto taking her home after they talked for a bit. Walking through the village, Samuto would fin himself at one of his favorite places where he found 6 familiar faces. Shikamaru, Ino, Choji, Hinata, Kiba, and Shino. Samuto would sit down at the ramen shop, getting the attention of the old man who ran the shop. How is my favorite customer? This would cause the 6 to turn their attention to him, expecting to see Naruto but being annoyed at the fact it wasn't him. I'll get the usual 10 bowls of our extra beef ramen. Thanks, old man. The ramen shop owner would go into the back to prepare ramen. This would cause uncontrollable silence to cover the area, with 6 genin staring at the fusion. Okay, you guys gonna keep staring at me, or you gonna say something? Samuto would turn to his shinobi Brotheren, looking annoyed. Ino would be the first to speak. We want to know why we have never seen you before. What do you mean? Shikamaru would speak up next. She means, why have we never seen you in our class? You seem to be a genin as well. Not just that, you also seem to be our age. And we have also seen you around Sakura, as well as leaving with her on that C-rank mission with her sensei. All those we haven't seen Naruto or Sasuke ever since you appeared. Samuto would tilt his head. Oh, so no one told any of you? I guess it is pretty classified. I'm pretty sure your senseis know. Samuto would close his eyes. question is, should I tell you or make you figure it out? Thinking for a bit, Samuto would finally decide. I guess I should tell you. I don't need you following me anywhere. The truth is, I'm Naruto. The 6 shinobi would look at Samuto and would tell together. What? Yeah, but I'm also Sasuke. This would confuse the ninja, leaving them flabbergasted as they realized he looked like Naruto and Sasuke. This would cause Kiba to speak out. Well, which one is it? Are you Naruto or Sasuke? Well, like I said, I'm both. I guess I could explain. Samuto would begin to explain to the 6 who he was and how he came to be. That is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Kiba would glare at Samuto. If you are really a fusion, then prove it. Show us something only Naruto can do, then show us something Sasuke can do. Samuto would laugh as his hood came out. Well, I'll do that then. Samuto would eat his food in an exponential rate, surprising them all. That's something only an Akamichi or Naruto could do. Keep 'em coming, old man. Samuto would grin. Oh, and for the Sasuke thing. Samuto would activate his Sharingan. Only an Uchiha would have these eyes. Samuto would go back to eating, leaving his fellow shinobi shocked. Oh, and the name is Samuto. Time skip. Sakura and Samuto would be sitting on logs waiting for their sensei. As usual, he is late. Well, at least he said he won't be that late. Do you actually believe him? Sakura would stare at Samuto, waiting for an answer. Anyway, we have time to train. Something told me I wouldn't get an answer. The 2 shinobi would begin to spar to pass the time. Eventually, after a few spars, Kakashi would finally arrive, making the 2 stop. Hello, my students. You're late, Kakashi bro. Kakashi, I smiled while looking at his book. I took the long way. Samuto and Sakura would deadpan. Must have been the very long way. Anyway, I have decided to recommend you 2 to the Chunin exams. To become higher rank ninja. Sakura and Samuto would look at each other with a grin. This is gonna be awesome. The 2 shinobi would fist bump. Well, you 2 are eager. The location for the first part will be on the 3rd floor of the academy. Room 340. Go there tomorrow morning around 10. Kakashi would disappear, leaving the 2 friends alone. Wanna go to Ikaraku's? Sure, got nothing better to do. The 2 began to walk out of the training ground, making their way to Ichiraku ramen shop. Before they could get there, however, they were stopped by Konohamaru and his crew. Big bro Samuto. Samuto would pat Konohamaru's head. How you been, Kono? Hey, I told you to stop calling me that. Samuto would laugh. Flashback. After the fusion, Samuto had found that the kid with the mask wasn't the only one watching him. Because Samuto more or less favored Naruto in looks, Konohamaru had followed him home after seeing him get ramen one time. This would lead to Konohamaru and Samuto talking for a while, as Samuto thought that he deserved to know that Naruto had fused with Sasuke and was basically gone, but at the same time not gone. Of course, this would lead to the young ninja to be following him and creating the Konohamaru squad in Naruto's name. Flashback end. And I told you the only time I won't call you Kono is when I'm serious. This would cause Sakura to laugh, giving her the attention of Konohamaru and the gang. Big bro, who is the pink-haired girl? Well, she's my teammate. Well, at least she's not your girlfriend. She has a massive forehead. Samuto would look to Konohamaru, then to Sakura. I would run, Konohamaru. What do you mean run? Well, Sakura has a temper, and you said one of her trigger words. Konohamaru would look at the rage that he just unleashed, and he would run as fast as he could, eventually running into a boy with purple makeup on and a blonde girl with a giant fan on her back. Eventually Sakura, Samuto and Konohamaru's friends would get to Konohamaru as he was being held by his collar, which was being held by the makeup boy. The blonde girl with the fan would begin to speak, not noticing the 4 who just arrived. Come on, Kankuro, put him down. The boy, now known as Kankuro, would glare at Konohamaru. This kid bumped into me, he needs to learn a lesson. Not wasting time, Samuto would appear behind Kankuro and would put a blade to his neck. I would listen to the pretty lady Kankuro. Samuto would smirk as Kankuro would drop Konohamaru, who would hide behind Samuto's leg. The blonde girl would blush with Kankuro scowling. Come on Tamari, you're not gonna help me. The girl now known as Tamari would cross her arms. Should have thought about what you did before you did it. Tamari would look to Samuto. I'm sorry for my brother's stupidity, please let him go. Okay, I guess. As long as the guy oozing killing intent comes out. Samuto would look to a tree where everyone could see a red-haired boy standing upside down on a branch. This boy had a gourd on his back and a kanji for love on his forehead. This boy would begin to speak to Samuto, causing fear from Tamari and Kankuro. What's your name? And tell me, why is mother afraid of you? This would surprise the two Sand siblings. When asking for someone's name, you typically say yours first. The boy would close his eyes as if he was thinking. Imgara. Of the Sand. Now. Who are you? Samuto would grin. I'm Samuto Uzumaki Uchiha, and the reason why Mr. One is afraid of me, well, it's because you're looking at 9. Everyone's eyes would widen besides Konohamaru, his crew, and Samuto. Sakura would be thinking about why the hidden sand would bring a Jinchuriki to the Chunin exams. Kankuro and Tamari would think that Samuto is more powerful than Gara. With Gara now understanding why mother was so quiet, Samuto would start speaking to Kurama. Kurama, he has Shikaku, right? Yes, Kit. Well, you think we could send the two of them into my mindscape, or should I just fix the seal? Kurama would open his eyes. We can do both, let me scare my brother into submission and you can fix Gara's seal. After this, Samuto would plunge his fingers into Gara's stomach and would twist, tightening the seal and sending Shikaku into his mindscape for a bit. In Samuto's mindscape, Shikaku would looking around quickly, trying to figure out what he did to be in the presence of his big brother, who apparently got stronger. This would also cause Shikaku to wonder where his brother was until Shikaku. The fear of a cornered Tanuki would settle into Shikaku, seeing how big Kurama had gotten ever since they last met. Kurama not only was bigger than any other tailed beast, now Shikaku knew that he could rival the height of the Jubi. Tell me now, why do you torment this boy? Shikaku would give a scared chuckle. Come on Kurama, you know me. I'm starting to think I don't. You were crazy, but to torment a boy where he can't sleep. Kurama would glare at his brother. I mean, I knew you were crazy, but... Shikaku would sigh. Yeah, save me the talk. What are you gonna do, kill me? No. Kid is already tightening your seal, this was just to ask you a question. Yeah, and what's that? There would be a pause before Kurama would speak again. What would father think? This would widen Shikaku's eyes as he was plunged back into his own seal. In the real world, Gara had realized he stopped hearing his mother's voice, it was quite for the first time. Of course he knew that thing wasn't his mother, it's just he was so far gone he couldn't call the thing anything else. Gara would pass out, allowing Samuto to give him to his siblings. I fixed his seal, he will be fine. Kankuro and Tamari would look at their brother and would leave the shinobi and shinobi in training alone. Time skip. Samuto and Sakura would make their way through their old school, finding a low-level genjutsu that many people were falling for it. The two shinobi would walk past it and go upstairs and would be stopped by 3 other shinobi. Samuto would look behind himself, seeing Ten with a boy that had a bowl-cut bushy eyebrows and a green jumpsuit. With them was a boy with brown hair that goes to his waist, as well as bandaged hands cloths with a hyuga static topping it off with white eyes with a purple tint. The 3 of them having the same headbands that Samuto and Sakura were wearing. Hey Ten, what you doing here? Ten would sigh. I'm just following these 2. After they found out where I got the sword you gave me, they wanted to fight you. Echem. Do they want to fight me 1-on-1 or do they want to fight me 2-on-1? The bowl-haired boy would step forward and would begin to speak. I am Rock Lee, that is Niji Hyuga. We not want one-on-one matches. Jutsu or no jutsu. And not to sound cocky or anything, but I think it would be best if you both would come at me at the same time if we doing anything goes. Niji and Lee would look at each other, then would look back to Samuto. We've decided that because of how strong we think you are, we will fight you together. Lee and Niji would rush at Samuto, with Samuto activating his Sharingan, dodging their first strike. Samuto would then go through hand signs, sending a earth chains at Lee. He would go through hand signs again and would send a gale force palm at Niji, which would surprise him. The two teammates would outmaneuver the attacks that were sent at them getting close to Samuto. Lee would come in with an axe kick, which was dodged by Samuto. Niji would come in with a palm aimed at Samuto's stomach, which he blocked. Lee would swing his leg to kick Samuto's shoulder, but he would block, and Niji would try to jab at Samuto, only for Samuto to land on Niji's arm. While on Samuto was on Niji's arm, Lee tried to spin into aerial kick, being stopped by Samuto's hand. Then Samuto would use the same axe kick Lee tried to use on Lee. In this split second, Niji would try and jab at Samuto's side, only for Samuto to jump off his arm and use the aerial kick that Lee used on Niji. Samuto would land and would get back into his blue phoenix stance. The fight would have gone on longer if they weren't stopped by what seemed to be an older Rock Lee in a Jonin flak jacket. So unyouthful, my students. Niji and Lee would stop, with Lee being the main one to look sorry. I'm sorry, Guy Sensei. The man now known as Guy would stop Lee from speaking, with Lee getting a slap to the floor. I taught you better. Lee, Guy Sensei. Lee. Guy Sensei. Lee. Guy Sensei. Lee. Guy Sensei. This would go on for a while, allowing Samuto and Sakura to escape the wired situation, leaving Niji and Tenten to suffer. When the two walked in, they were bombarded with glares and killing intent. This would make Samuto return the killing intent 100-fold, making everyone that didn't know him scared of him. Eventually the two would be found by the other members of the Rookie 9, now 8, Kiba being the first to talk. So I guess all 8 of us are in the Chunin exams. This would get a grin from Samuto. I mean, we are the best. Kiba would grin back at his fellow ninja, the 8 shinobi, talking about what they had been up to until they would be stopped by a man with many scars on his face. Sit down and shut up. My name is Ibiki. Welcome to the first part of the Chunin exams. And hope you're ready for a nightmare of a test. Time skip. Samuto would be awakened by a crash that was caused by a lady who jumped into the building through a window. The young fusion would open his eyes to see that he had passed, and now they were moving on to the next part of the exam. The lady would then lead them to the Forest of Death. This is the Forest of Death, or as I like to call it, my playground. Samuto wouldn't be paying much attention as he was very bored at this point, and letting his Naruto side take over, he would begin to mock the purple-haired lady. This would annoy her. She threw a kuni at his cheek, which he caught easily. Man, you boring and rusty. The purple-haired lady would disappear, reappearing behind Samuto holding a kuniyo his neck. With a bored look, Samuto would look up to the lady above him. Jonin-sen, I don't think it's okay to have crushes on your subordinates. I mean, I don't even know your name. You really got to pay attention. The pink-haired lady would begin to grin. I'm sexy and single, Anko Mitarashi. Good to know, Anko-chan. Anko would move away from Samuto and would speak again, talking about what is needed for the second part of the Chunin exams. The young fusion would move to get the mandatory scroll and would hide it in a seal placed on his arm, as well as make a fake scroll. After doing this, he would walk back to Sakura, who would be at a specific gate that both were placed at. After waiting a bit, Sakura and Samuto would see the gates open and rush in through the trees. While moving through the trees, the two shinobi would find a spot to scout for other ninja. Okay, so here is the plan. I saw the directions that each team went in. I need you to calculate their points depending on the speed they went in. Sakura would smirk. Easy. Okay, when we find a team, we gonna separate them, then take them out. If they don't have the scroll we need, just burn the scroll. Sakura would nod as she started to calculate the closest team towards them, which was one Samuto had noticed on account that one of the people on the team had red hair, which he remembered one of his mothers had. Samuto and Sakura would move in the direction of the other team, finding them pretty easily. They would hide their chakra and keep an eye on the new shinobi. The two boys of the team began to treat the redhead like they weren't from the same village. This would disgust Samuto. Eventually, having watched enough, he would jump down and attack the two boys, leaving the red-haired girl alone. Sakura would jump down after him to console the redhead. Samuto would take out a scroll from one of the boys' pockets and would put it in a seal on his hand. Sakura would walk over to the fusion with the redhead. Samuto, this is Kirin Uzumaki, and I found out she was treated like this since she was young. Kirin would look away from Samuto's stare. Uzumaki, crazy, I'm an Uzumaki too. Kirin would look surprised. You're an Uzumaki. Samuto would nod. Technically, I'm only a fourth Uzumaki. I'll take you to the third Hokage, that way you can relax a bit. Samuto would smile, then make a clone that would lead Kirin out if the forest. Sakura would look down to the fusion. Looks like you got a sister. This would get a grin from the two as they made their way to the middle of the forest. The two would finally arrive at the tower and would walk inside, opening the two scrolls. When they walked inside, this would trigger someone to appear. This person would be Irika, who didn't think he would be summoned this quick. You two are the first ones to get here, you have the time to relax. Irika would smile and would disappear. Time skip. Samuto would be staring at the third Hokage along with some other people who had passed as well. After a few minutes, the Hokage would begin to speak, causing all the Jonin to be quiet. You all joined the Chunin exams to become Chunin. But these exams are much more than that. They symbolize war against the ninja world, and is a way for us to gain more missions through showing our power. Luckily, we don't need to cut the number at all. Although we usually need to, I guess it is different this year. You all will have 3 months to get ready for the finals. But before you all leave Shikaku, Nara will give you names to draw to see what battles will take place. Everyone would walk to Shikaku taking a piece of paper out of a small container. Samuto would look at his piece, seeing that he was going up against Gaara while Sakura was going against Niji.
Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you watch some more videos of mine. If this is your first time watching, please go and look at my other videos. Without further ado, Little Ninja, out.
Shawty catch a vibe, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought a two-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my heart, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stun. Oh, living lively. Everybody tryna ride my wave, they can ride me. Pull up in a foreign to the curb looking icy. I ain't never stressed about a fit, I'm on hype.